It is the start of a new week. I have some explaining to do. I've been haywire for the last 2 days. It's officially Wednesday, so my week is starting on a Wednesday. So the idea is I'm going to have lunch. I'm going to do some work. Now this work isn't actually related to the agency in any way, but what it is a way of me making some income on the side to help pay for my living expenses whilst I'm running the agency. I'm also considering getting a part-time job. Now that I am thinking of moving out of my parents' home, I need a regular source of income because majority of the apartments that you do rent need to know that you do have regular income in order to be able to pay your rent and your bills. So the majority of the landlords that you rent your properties from in the UK often require you to have a guarantor, and they require you to be in full-time work or part-time work, but it has to be kind of regular income. That's the reason why I'm doing this job on the side, but I'm also planning to get a part-time job very soon. The idea is that I secure this part-time job by the end of this month. I do have a couple of things in the pipeline, but it has to be part-time because I need time to be able to focus on building this agency, which I think will take me a few months.
Hey, how are you going?
Hi, good, thank you. How are you?
No, can't complain at all, can't complain. Where are you calling in from?
From UK.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And tell me, do you have your own business at the moment?
I do, yeah. I have a marketing agency called Social Baked.
Awesome stuff. How long has that been going?
It's been 2 years, so since 2022. But I'm actually changing things around now with the agency, hence why I'm jumping on this call with you today.
Cool, absolutely. And just so I make sure I've got a good pronunciation of your name, is it Nosheen?
Nosheen, yeah, exactly, that's right.
Nosheen. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I don't want to botch that. Excellent. These meetings are super laid back. I'm pretty much just going to see if it's a good fit for us and we can even help. And then if we can, I'll explain how we'll do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, what kind of prompted you to book in a call with us, firstly?
As an agency owner, what I'm looking for is a way to kind of automate client acquisition. So, because at the moment I'm doing everything like manually, like cold calling, cold email, creating content to get people interested. But I'm trying to find a way now to automate it so that I get regular meetings with potential clients. And obviously I came across the ads on YouTube, and the one thing that really got my attention was that there would not be any of the cold calling or the cold emailing, and that you had a system that would help provide meetings with clients, I guess. Yeah, it's something I'm quite passionate about, so starting a digital marketing agency was always important to me. But the last couple of years I've struggled because I've not been working with the clients that I've wanted to work with. And I've pretty much done that just for experience, because before I had my marketing agency, I was working in-house in marketing positions, which isn't something that I wanted to do. And I realised very quickly that I wanted to have my own business. And I think a marketing agency is the right type of business model for someone like me. So, and obviously through this business, I want to be able to one day be able to provide for my family and not ever have to worry about money, kind of the simple things really in life.
So bear in mind, if you don't want to be doing this, we're going to give you sales reps to pretty much implement into this business, show you how to pay them, track them, do all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But a sales rep will just make your life so much easier. So that's going to be where you can pretty much remove yourself from the entire acquisition system and pretty much start generating a cash machine without you being involved. So let me know how you're feeling around this all so far.
Have you heard of Iman Gadzhi?
Yes, of course.
It sounds very similar to his program that I've actually joined, but I don't know if it is similar. See, the thing is, I joined his program back in January of this year, and the one thing that I felt like was lacking in that program was kind of up to date outreach systems or processes. They kind of still recommend cold calling, cold DMing, cold emailing, which is something that not a lot of people actually want to get into. So in terms of service delivery and all that kind of stuff, because it's something that I'm already covering in that program, it's not something that is like a focus point for me. The focus point really, and obviously the reason why I jumped on this call, was more to do with automating client acquisition. So I don't know if you now kind of understand where I am and what it is that I'm looking for. But I wouldn't want to join another kind of program, if you know what I mean, because I'm already part of one. Am I right to assume that it's not going to be like a system that's going to be implemented? Because that's the idea that I got from the ad that I saw running for this.
100%. So all of that stuff is just extra at the end of the day.
So it's almost the end of the week now. Yesterday, I tried to vlog some of the conversation that I had with this business that I got in contact with that I thought would be able to help me with client acquisition. But it turned out that their services is not something that I'm looking for. Basically what they do is they provide you with resources that you would need to implement a system into your business that automates outreach for your agency. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a business that's going to do the outreach for me, a done-for-you service. It's also going to be highly beneficial for my accountability partner who's a mother. She works part-time. She really doesn't have the time for outreach as much as I would do. So I'm kind of in this journey with her together to try and find either some VAs or an agency or a business that can do the work for us, where it's taking a lot of time off our hands. I'm not giving up on doing the outreach myself yet, but I am at a stage where if I can find something that works for me, where I'm not having to input too much of my time towards getting clients, of course I'm going to do it. I think the majority of people would do that. I know that a lot of other people who have joined Iman's agency program are also doing this, and they're paying VAs like on a kind of results basis or commission basis. So it's something that I'm looking into. Now it's 2024. There's a lot more out there in terms of support for agencies. If I can get more support and it's going to save me time, then why wouldn't I do it? I'm not sure I mentioned this, but this is actually my last month in this office. It's been a long time coming, to be fair. Last year was probably a really good year for Social Bay, but this year has been up and down. My health hasn't been great. I've not been in the office as much as I would have liked to. It's not gotten the use that it deserves, and I feel like somebody else would benefit from it better than I have. Beginning of July is when I will move out and, move into an apartment where I'll have my own office space and where I'll be able to work without disturbances. There are so much disturbances, so much noise, not even just from like the other businesses in this building, but also from like tenants that live underneath. It's just not a great space. I feel quite claustrophobic in this space. There's no ventilation, so I get headaches very easily. It definitely affects my concentration, my energy levels when I'm sat here on my own. It's been a great ride, but it's definitely time to move on to better things. And because this office is in Bradford, I felt tied to Bradford because of this, and I've been paying rent on this place for about a year and a half, which is a long time. Initially, it made sense for me to extend my tenancy agreement on this place, but now it's just gotten to the point where I'm in a different stage with my agency. I'm trying to create something much bigger, and I've kind of outgrown the idea of being in an office. I just think there's better things for me outside of Bradford. So I need a schedule, because right now my days are all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing on certain days. I just kind of wing it, which is the worst thing, because you cannot be productive when you're just winging your day and you have no idea what you're doing, especially if you have multiple businesses or multiple jobs that you're working. You really need to manage your time better. And I've learned that the hard way, because I feel like this month, which is now June, I need to make good progress in everything that I'm doing. I need to be in a position where I can support myself, because I want to move out, Once I move out of this office, I then plan to move out of my family's home. I'm that kind of person that really values my own independence. And it's something that I miss because I had it when I was in Manchester and now I don't have it, and I'm 31. I need to be in my own space. No matter how hard we work, timing is something that is in God's hands. It's not in our hands, and I truly believe that. So I will say, inshallah, things will work out however they are meant to work out. I'm so grateful to have had this office space. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had in my career up until now. I'm changing, I'm developing, I'm growing, I'm learning. And that's very important, that you're constantly learning. There's a lot of things that we have to think about as women that maybe men don't have to think about necessarily. But what about like single mothers? What about just women who want to be entrepreneurs and want to be successful and want to be able to have financial freedom for themselves and not rely on the men in their lives or their partners? I'd want to be that woman that doesn't have to rely on her husband. Have an end goal in mind and realize what it is that you're working towards. Every action that you take every single day should somehow contribute towards that goal. Otherwise, if you're just working mindlessly towards something that you think is what you want, you're just not going to get there. You have to be quite strategic with your time. You have to manage your time well. And I'm learning this. I've had to learn it the hard way. And sometimes I do slip up and fall, and I think that's normal. So I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot too much about it. But I think now I'm starting to get back onto the saddle, starting to prioritize my time in the areas that I think are really important to me. And that's what I've been working on today, is creating like a schedule. So what I'm initially doing is looking at my short-term goals for the next 3 months. I've written them all down on a paper. I just work better when I have a pen in my hand. I feel like the ideas, everything just flows through that pen. And the idea is to plan out exactly how I will get there. So with every goal, I've asked myself the question, how will I get there? So you're breaking your goals down into specific objectives that you can achieve within that time frame, making it more realistic and easier to achieve. Now that I've broken those goals down, I have a much more clear vision of what I need to do. I've even prioritized certain goals over others. You might not achieve every single goal. So if you prioritize the ones that are most important to you, there's a better chance of you reaching those priority goals. It's a new week, which means that this is another attempt of me trying to get that one step closer towards achieving success with my agency. Do I think I'm getting closer? Not really. At the moment, the plan is to try and hire VAs or sales reps to do outreach for me. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to hire somebody very soon for that so that I can get clients very soon. So I am going to still be doing some outreach. It's just I want to be able to start that process now of having people on board who are going to do the work for me, because I know it's a long process in terms of finding the right people. If they're good, I'll hire them as part of my team. At this moment in time, even if I have like 2 to 3 clients, I'd still be happy, because my main goal once I have a couple of clients is to actually focus on trying to perfect my service delivery. I just need to outsource as much of this work as possible from the very beginning, so that it makes life easier for me as I go along in my agency journey. I know that that's going to be quite a difficult thing to do right now at the very beginning, but I would rather struggle now than struggle later on. As well as reaching out to potential clients within my niche, seeing if they would be interested in a tailored for you solution that is specific to solving their problem as a business. Even if I'm doing 1 month of free work, I'd be happy to do that, because for me, I'm trying to get experience under my belt within this specific niche. I know I have quite a lot of experience working with other industries. Within this particular niche, I don't have a whole lot of experience, so it's very important for me to build that experience, as long as I get something in return, which would be like a testimonial, something that I can use to show other clients the results that I've got for businesses within their niche. I have actually spoken to a few people and told them about my plan to move out into my own place. There's been some mixed reactions, to be fair. Since I've been living at home, I've not achieved much. I've just been in this constant cycle of taking care of my family, putting everybody else's needs above my own. I can't keep doing that. My life is also important. My mental health is also important. I have to put myself first. I care about my parents, I care about my siblings, I care about my family. I'm always going to be there for them, but my life is important. I've put it on hold for too long for the people around me. In 2024, I made a promise that I would put myself first and I would make my business a success. And that's what I'm working towards this year. Everything else for me has to come secondary to that because I've put everybody else first for too long. I've not put myself first, and in that time I've fallen ill. So many things have happened, so many things have gone wrong. And I know that like life has its ups and its downs, but it's just constantly sacrificing your sanity, your freedom, your life, your ambitions, your career goals for other people, and they wouldn't even do the same thing for you. That's when you need to realize that actually, you know what, I need to put myself first. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I need to become that person that can make it a success. And I can't do that when I'm around my family, unfortunately. So I need to move out. I want my business to be this thing that brings me and my loved ones closer because I can support them in ways that I never was able to. And I know that everybody's going to say, money doesn't buy happiness, but it makes things easier, right? That can bring you happiness to a certain extent. I've struggled so much in my life from being a student, not really ever having a stable job, never wanting to work for anyone else. I've always wanted to work for myself. So when you're in that mindset where you know that you're the type of person who wants to be in charge of your own income, who wants financial stability, financial freedom, time, location freedom, these are the things that you are in control of. You're the only one that's going to get you there. Nobody else is going to help you get there, and I'm going to be in control by moving out, not actually having any more excuses as to why I've not made it. I can use the excuse now that okay, my family are a distraction, but once I move out, I know that distraction's now been eliminated. I have enough time and space to be able to focus on my agency and growing it. Word of advice, if people are telling you you're a female, you need to stay at home, you need to look after your parents, do what's right for you. I'm not saying go against anyone in your family. Do whatever is right for you, as I am doing what is right for me. What is up, future millionaires? Monday, 17th of June 2024, and it's officially Eid. Eid day is usually so busy for us. I usually spend the day before Eid cleaning and cooking, and then I spend the day of Eid cleaning and cooking, and then I finally manage to get ready in the afternoon. And then I spend majority of that time with family because we have guests that come over. I never really plan to do any work because it's Eid, it's kind of my day off. And I don't have many days off, just so that I can relax and yeah, just spend time with family really. Obviously I've eaten so much food, like so much food to the point where I feel like I'm pregnant with triplets. Obviously, as you can see here, I'm in my Eid attire, which is actually a bit different for me because I don't really wear Asian clothes very often. My mum's auntie pointed out today that she rarely sees me in Asian clothes and that she often sees me in English. I find English clothes more comfortable, even on special occasions where I tend to wear Asian clothes because it's a cultural event or it's a cultural tradition. I just don't feel like myself. Do any other Desi girls, when they wear Asian clothes, feel like they're an imposter? I really hope it's not just me. Last week was a little bit all over the place. Myself and my accountability partner, we were on the hunt for a sales rep, somebody who can work in both agencies to generate sales. What I did was I posted a job ad on LinkedIn, and this was something that you have to pay for as well, so it's a daily budget of £5, and I thought I'd see what kind of results that generates, what kind of applicants we get with that. So overall we ended up spending £18, and the ad was up for around, I want to say 3 days, and in that time we got around 45 to 47 applicants. The majority of them were not qualified or did not fit our criteria, but there were quite a few that were qualified. We got some good applications. Off the back of that, I had an interview with somebody who I thought was going to be great for this position. I arranged a second call with this person, so my accountability partner, she jumped onto this call with me because I wanted to know what her thoughts were as to whether she liked this person and if she would want to hire this person. She had to leave the call early, but let's just say the 10-15 minutes she was on the call, she liked what she heard. So we both decided that we wanted to hire her. Now I sent this lady an email to say that you've got the job, and certain things that we would need from her as an agency, and also asking her what she would need from us in order to get started, because the person that we were hiring would have been a freelancer, somebody who's an experienced sales rep who has done this kind of work for agencies previously. She didn't fully fit our criteria. She wasn't as experienced as we would have liked. However, I think more than anything what sold us was her enthusiasm. She seemed like she was willing to learn. Of course, working with 2 different agencies is great in terms of experience. I thought that she would be quite eager to accept the position, but she's not accepted the position so far. So when I sent her an email, she responded to say, I just want to let you know that I'm acknowledging that I've received your email. I'm actually busy right now, but I will get back to you tomorrow. So I checked Saturday, still no response, and it's now Monday. Still no response, so that's not a good sign. I think her email response to begin with was a little bit of a strange response. If you have the time to respond to somebody's email by saying, yeah, I've got your email, I'll get back to you, you definitely have the time to get back to that person and respond to whatever it is that they're asking for. Like, I don't really know how to feel about that. I'm gonna leave it today. I have sent her an email to catch up with her and just be like, can you give me a response so that I know whether you're interested or not and you want to accept this position, because we then need to go and hire somebody else, and that's me having to start that process all over again, which is fine. It's part of learning to be a better agency owner, I guess. Hiring is a massive part of any business. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow and see if she responds. If not, I think I'll probably leave it and have to go back onto LinkedIn, look at the applicants and contact a few more and see if we can get somebody started this week. I thought that we were on a roll, but there might be a slight setback, which is fine. And as disappointed as I feel, I'm kind of glad that it happened now rather than if we had hired her and she'd done this. I am super tired. Like, I feel like my eyes are really heavy because, as you can probably tell, it's evening right now, 1 minute past 11. I'm gonna go to bed because I can't even keep my eyes open right now. I'm that tired. Today has been a long day. The last 2-3 nights I've not slept well, so I just hope that tonight I get a good night's sleep and that tomorrow is a better day. This week has been crazy, just been so much going on. One of the main things that I've been working on this week is actually getting a remote sales team together for my agency, but also the agency of my accountability partner. Because both of our agencies specialise in lead generation, just for different sectors, we decided to kind of partner up on this. We want to get to our business goals as quickly as possible. Your main goal as an agency owner is to grow your business and to have more clients and increase revenue. So what we're focusing on this month is actually client acquisition, getting the sales team together to do the client acquisition for us. I always wanted to bring somebody on board or like a team of people to do outreach anyway at some point in my agency journey, so it just made sense to start doing that now. Where are we now with that? I basically put out a job ad on LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn account, you can usually post one job ad for free, but for some reason, I think because it was quite a competitive position, we had to pay for it. So we ended up paying under £20, and we had our ad up for about 3 days and we received around, I think it was 87 applicants. I wasn't expecting, first of all, to have that many applicants. Of course, it is a startup agency and the role is advertised as commission based, but the fact that we got quite a few applicants, I spent quite a lot of time going through those applicants. Initially, we were just going to hire one person, but then that one person decided to drop out. So then we decided that, okay, we shouldn't put all of our eggs in one basket and we should hire a team of people, because what we predict is that certain people will outperform others, certain people may struggle, especially for the ones that are a little bit less experienced than the other ones, or the ones who are a little bit less experienced may work harder in terms of getting clients. We decided to hire people of different abilities, different types of sales experience. We've managed to get around 7 people on board currently, which is great. I thought we'd only get like 2 to 3, but the fact that we've got 7 and they're all pretty much confirmed to start on Monday, so that's really exciting. I just need to send them a sales reference document which outlines everything that we expect from them. I'm really hoping that we start to generate clients pretty soon, like in the next couple of weeks. But of course, we've hired people of different abilities, so we kind of just have to give everybody their time to shine. I kind of spearheaded the whole hiring situation. Fingers crossed my intuition pays off and I've hired some good people who will actually generate us results. But I mean, along the way, I've learned quite a few different lessons, I guess. We may have probably rushed into it the first time around thinking that as soon as we put the job ad out, we would end up hiring people straight away, but that didn't happen. So the second time round, we decided that we would take our time, that we're asking all the candidates the right questions, make sure that they're serious about starting, make sure that they're aware of the incentives that they will get to generate sales and of course increase their income. They all seem quite eager to get started, so it sounds positive. And in other news, there's something that I wanted to address. Things have just been a bit hectic at home recently. There's been quite a lot going on in the house that I've had to deal with, so that's kind of taken me away from what I want to do in terms of vlogging and keeping you updated on the business and my entrepreneurial journey, I guess. So I've been kind of feeling a little bit of pressure, I've been feeling a little bit of stress. It's kind of subsided a little, I've kind of got myself out of that rut today. During this week, there were times where I wanted to pick up the camera, but I just didn't feel like my best self coming on camera. I've realised that it's not about me coming on here and showing you my perfect self, because I'm not perfect. This journey is not going to be a linear journey or a straight path. It's going to be more of a roller coaster with ups and downs, and there's been a fair few downs. I started this channel to inspire other females like myself, to show other people a realistic journey of what it's like as a businesswoman, especially as an agency owner and as a Desi woman, because we have our own obstacles and challenges that we go through. So I just want to come on here and be as real as possible. What I will show is more of an authentic side to me as a person. I'm not going to worry too much about how I look or how people will perceive me, because genuinely I don't care. The people that like me will stick around and will enjoy my content and will enjoy watching my journey. The one thing that I've learned is to be consistent rather than being a perfectionist, and I really need to hammer that into my head, because genuinely I'm that kind of person that is a perfectionist. Like, I literally go through things with a fine-tooth comb until everything is perfect, like every T is crossed and every I is dotted. I don't want to be that person anymore because it's holding me back. I want to be that person that is actually making moves and doesn't worry about being a perfectionist and having everything down to a T. The truth of the situation is I can't be a perfectionist if I want to do well in life. I have to make mistakes. I have to be willing to take risks. I have to be willing to just be imperfect. There's such a thing called imperfect action. Focus more on being consistent and taking action. It's so important that we actually see results from what we're doing, from the graft that we're putting in every single day, the late nights that we're doing, the hours that we're putting in, the blood, sweat, tears, and that only happens from action and being consistent. I want to post a vlog every single week on my YouTube channel. I want to show up for you guys, but also for myself. As much as it's there to help and inspire other females, it's also there to help and inspire me to keep going and to motivate me. One day I want to look back on these videos and just see how far I've come in my journey as an entrepreneur, because it's a lonely journey. It's not easy. There's so many challenges. I know that during this time I'm going to experience a lot of growth, and it's something that I want to document for myself, really. Anyone that wants to join me on that journey is welcome.
Five hours later.
So I thought I would come in today in the office and charge both of my camera batteries. They've both now got full charge. Yesterday we had our sales team starting, so I sent out a couple of emails, nobody responded the whole day. And then I got a call from one of the sales reps who was kind of like, I've got some questions. And I was like, great, finally, someone has questions. So I spent around an hour on the phone with him. So I realised from having that call with him that there were a couple of important things that were missing from the email. Myself and my accountability partner, we hopped on a call, we made sure that all the pointers were down in the second email that I sent out yesterday. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of what it was that they're doing, nobody was going to be struggling. In order for them to even sign on a client for our agencies, they need to collect payment from the prospect. So we just spent this morning setting up payment links for both businesses on Stripe. It was fairly easy to do, but today my accountability partner has taken a little bit more of an active role. She's actually called everyone up to see how they're getting on. A little bit more positive today. I mean, it's only the beginning of the week. By next week, I would at least like to see sales pipeline with prospects in there so that we know they are actually working, they are actually spending time on this, they are actually serious about this, because we both decided if there are people who show that they're not serious, we'll just kind of let them go, and for the ones that are serious, we'll provide as much support as we can to those specific people. One of the reasons why I set up my agency was not just to support myself financially, but also to support my family. If I'm able to make this into a success, which inshallah I will, I want to be able to support my parents, my siblings, my grandma, provide a comfortable life to everyone around me. This journey with Social Bay, although it's taken so many kind of dips, turns, ups and downs, I will say since I've kind of found my newest accountability partner, we have got things moving quite quickly. Because I will be away this weekend, like my first official break in a long time, I'm just going to see one of my friends down in Bolton. I'm figuring out, is it up or is it down from where I am? It's actually down, yeah. My week is so full on this week, I just feel like I need a little bit of a break, and taking like 2 days out of my schedule is going to be really helpful. I'll come back next week with a more fresh mindset. Tonight we're going to be completing our onboarding processes for both businesses. Pray that things go according to plan this time, because there's been so many times when things haven't gone according to plan and I've just felt like a right div. I'm going to be more positive with myself. I'm going to speak to myself more positively, because I can be so harsh on myself. I'm trying to not be that person anymore. I think especially in Desi families, the people around us can be quite hard on us. So we kind of speak to ourselves in a similar way because it's what we're used to. But we need to start learning to speak to ourselves in a more positive and loving way so that we can then pass on that type of behaviour and communication to our children, our partners, and anyone around us that we care for. They say that your personal problems can manifest into your business. If you don't have like a hold of that, it can be quite damaging. My hand is getting a little bit tired. Let me just find something to put you down upon. Sorry, I know this isn't the best angle. Yeah, from having this morning routine, do I think it's been beneficial? I did kind of start this journey of meditation and mindfulness at the beginning of this year when I initially joined Iman's agency program, and because it's something that he really advocates for. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. Let's see how it goes. I think somehow it has impacted me. But you know, they say that it can take around 8 weeks to develop a new habit, and in that time you will probably trip up and fall, but the key is to not give up. When you give up, that's where you know that actually this isn't going to work. And it's not because it's not working, it's because you've given up. So I'm not going to give up with the whole meditation, even though yesterday I woke up early, I tried it. I spent probably around 20 minutes meditating, which was quite a long time for me because usually I only spend around 10 minutes. I just felt like yesterday wasn't my day. It didn't really go too well, but I think that was just a precedence of the day. Things were just not going too great. Today has been a pretty decent day. I didn't meditate. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's like the be all and end all. If you don't meditate, that means you're not going to be successful. You'll probably find it useful if you're an overthinker like me. It might be helpful to just kind of clear your mind so that when you start work, you're starting your work with a fresh and clear mind. I did also start journaling. I didn't journal at night. I think you're really supposed to do it twice a day. The whole purpose of journaling is just to get your thoughts down. I didn't really reflect on the day though, which is probably something I should have done. I might do it tonight if I get a chance, because I do feel like there's certain things going on in my head that I might find useful just to get down so that I can kind of transfer it from my brain onto paper and then just leave it there. It's now 6:30. I'm gonna get my bum home because I do need to remove this makeup, have dinner, I need to pray, but I do plan to try and sleep as early as possible. Obviously now with Isha being around 11, just after 11, it's so difficult to actually go to sleep. Last night I didn't sleep at 11:15, I slept earlier. But the night before that, I slept at 11:15. I just felt so tired because I had to wake up at 4 o'clock to pray Fajr. You've got like around 5 hours of sleep. And really the average that you should be getting for someone of my age is like 7 hours minimum. So like I'm getting around 2 to 3 hours less of sleep every day because of prayer timing. But I feel like prayer is an important part of my journey towards success, and I feel like if I don't pray, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to have my shit together. Praying really helps ground me, so it's something that's really important for me, and I need to be consistent with it and keep up with it whether I'm tired or not. If I am tired and for some reason I miss it, like last night, I always make sure that I make them back up. Hello, 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 hello.
Huh?
I am actually on my laptop right now because I'm about to jump onto a call. I've been invited to go onto a podcast. I have already been on this podcast before. That particular episode we were talking about autism because my brother has autism. It's now 3 o'clock, so I'm just going to hop onto this call now with Scott. And today we are discussing overcoming adversity. So I'm really looking forward to this. Hello.
I'm trying to talk a little bit more in and around sort of gender inequality, gender pay gap, and different things like that. We've also been posting quite a bit recently about the 30, 35, 40 age expectations. If it's alright, I wouldn't mind sort of just touching upon that. I think that's quite cool as well.
Yeah. So I grew up around a lot of South Asian people, but I kind of almost rebelled against my culture in many ways because there was lots of things that I saw. Maybe growing up I saw British people behaving in a certain way, living their life in a certain way, and I felt like I was kind of restricted because the culture that I come from sometimes is not accepted to behave in that type of way. So yeah, I would say I found it quite challenging growing up in Bradford. In fact, I spent most of my time in my younger years trying to get away from Bradford.
It was about, are you a rebel, or did you break the mould, or...
Okay, yeah, so to answer that question, wouldn't class myself as a rebel, but if you ask my family, they probably would say yes, but I think it's because they didn't really understand me. My battery is literally about to die. Just finished off with the podcast and Scott's just told me that the podcast is going to be going live in like 2 to 3 months, so it's not going to be out for a while yet. So we had some really interesting conversations about like the gender pay gap, how it's like for females with their careers. When that podcast episode does go live, I will be posting it up onto my socials so you can have a look at it there. It's always great catching up with him, great podcast interview. I'm always happy to support other people with their ventures and businesses. I don't do that for everyone, but he's a nice person. I did a little bit of a naughty thing today. I bought some dessert stuff because I really want to make Biscoff milk cake, which I've been craving since yesterday. Does anybody else do that? Like you're out in Tesco, wherever it is, and then you buy dessert stuff. There's no kind of sense of self-control. Got my double cream in there. I've got my Biscoff biscuits. There's evaporated milk, condensed milk. So these are all the things that I need to be able to make the Biscoff milk cake. Obviously everything else that I need is already at home. I don't really have sweet stuff all the time. So when I do crave it, and then I kind of just have to tame my craving somehow. Like I said, I really wanted Biscoff milk cake. I'm gonna make it happen.